This is going to be a very short signed version of my birth story, so make sure you watch that if you're more interested in how my birth story actually went. I don't know why, but I always kind of think that people's just like stories about their labor and their births and everything is really interesting. So if you're someone who also thinks that, keep watching till the end because I do go slightly more into depth speaking what my birth story was like. So there you have it. Enjoy the video. Which means sometimes I might sign something wrong. This is me practicing and also sharing. So that is just the quick story of it. For anyone who's interested, I will now speak to share a little bit more about how that all went. Also because it's kind of fun for me to be able to look back at this and kind of remember some of the things that happened. So please excuse my cat. So my due date was June 19th. It was Father's Day, June 19th, 2022. I was kind of hoping he'd wait till Father's Day because I thought that would have been really sweet. But I'm kind of glad that he also came a few days before. I remember it was, Wednesday the 15th. I was at the park with my son. I kept thinking, I thought the baby would be here by now. I kept thinking he'd come sooner than he did. That night, went to bed. Everything was normal. I got up around midnight because I had to pee, and then I realized I was very wet. Sorry if that is a little bit too much information. But I realized I was wet, and I immediately woke up my husband. I went to the bathroom and realized my water just broke. Super weird that it started that way. So we called my parents. They'd actually just gotten back from a trip to Europe a few days before, but they knew to have their phones ready to go in case we called. So we called my parents. They both came over My other son, he was sleeping in the next room. So they came to our apartment. They slept there the rest of the night. We drove to the hospital. We probably ended up getting there around 1 a.m. They, did all of their stuff, their COVID check and all of that. They didn't want to check if I was dilated or not, just because when your water already breaks, there's a higher risk of infection. So they didn't check any of that. I hadn't really had any contractions at that point, like these tiny little contractions that barely even counted, something I could like feel and I'd sort of be like, oh yeah, I guess that's a contraction, but they were super mild. Anyway, so we just kind of waited. We were in a room. They talked to us about possibly inducing, but I didn't really want to do that because from everything I was told, once your water breaks, usually at least in the next 24 hours, you're going to have the baby. So I figured I'd rather wait for that than actually go through induction. So the night continues on. I have more and more contractions. It was a lot of like sleeping for a little bit, waking back up, sleeping for a little bit, waking back up. I think by the time we finally even got settled in a room, it was probably like 3 a.m. by that point or something. I don't remember the times exactly. But anyway, things kept progressing. I was able to kind of just eat, relax. I'd done this at least one time before, so I never really took many classes or anything. I took like one class the previous time for my older son, and then just looked up stuff online and watched videos and stuff like that. But anyway, I feel like I did a pretty good job about breathing through things. Neither time did I do any medication, no epidural or anything like that. So by the last couple of hours of labor, it was getting pretty intense for me. I had a lot of back pain this second time around that I didn't experience with my first son. So that was getting pretty bad. I was getting to the point of definitely like crying through contractions. Finally, my husband was like, you should just have them check you. Maybe you can push. So they did check and they're like, yeah, you can push. So I pushed, but probably about 10 minutes and there he was. 7 pounds, 13 ounces, 20 inches long, beautiful little boy. So there is my quick story. Born at 4:57 p.m. Fun fact, same time my husband missed a call for the job that he now has, and they were offering it to him. So fun story. There you have it. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, click the bell, all of that. Keep on signing. I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.